Well, a very big hello to you all today. It is my greatest honour to be able to introduce our next guest to you, the beautiful Elena Brower. And Elena Brower is a mama. She's a double diamond leader with dōTERRA. She is an incredible yoga teacher and meditation teacher of over 20 years experience. She teaches on Yoga Glow. She's a best-selling author with her books of The Art of Attention and Practice You, and the upcoming Being You as well. So I can't wait to get into more of her books because I've already been incredibly inspired and affected by Elena. I've also had the great privilege of enjoying Elena's yoga class in Brisbane, when she'll come and just offer a really, really potent couple of days for people who'd like to immerse into Elena's practice. So what I really felt called to reach out to Elena to have this time with her, because for one thing, she's really brought the concept of equanimity alive for me. And the equanimity, I didn't even know what the word meant before I met Elena, but equanimity means a sense of being unshakable in times where you've got such an inner peace that anything can be going on around you and you just feel very much yourself. So a very warm welcome to you, Elena. I'm so thrilled to have you here, and I'd love to dive into some of your guidance around these turbulent emotional times we've got going right now, and some of your insights on how we might be able to navigate this. Thank you, Elena.
I cannot thank you enough for having me. Thank you. I have been trying to offer something every day for my own community, and it's given me a really interesting level of experience with mining what I already know in order to navigate these waters. I left my own home 2.5 weeks ago because my lungs, my son's lungs, and my partner's lungs are not great. And we don't get sick anymore because of the oils, but we couldn't risk staying in New York and having all that exposure. So we came to Santa Fe, to New Mexico. And I had one day to packed this dress in 3 colors, 5 books, and a few notebooks. That's all I have. I'm used to having a vast, extensive collection of books and notebooks from many, many decades of work around. And without that, I've had to just look inside. What I found is that the main work that we have to address is the work of managing our own resistance. We resist what is as a practice.
True.
And it's time to look at that resistance with a sense of humor. Know that every single person on this planet at this time, no matter what your age or socioeconomic background, is in the same boat. We all don't know what's happening next. And whether you make $100,000 a year or $1,000 a year, we're all in the same boat. We have no idea what's going to happen next. So how do we navigate this? We laugh at our resistance because it comes up hourly, minute by minute. And we see it and we say, aha, there you are again. Byron Katie says the only time, what does she say? The only time hold on, I have it written down in my notes and I want to make sure that I say it right.
I love Byron Katie.
It's just the best. Oh yeah, when I argue with reality, I lose, but only 100% of the time.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So let's get practical because that's really nice. But how do you deal with the fact that your child is rolling around on your office floor and pressing on your laptop when you're trying to have a real call? How do you deal when it's bedtime and you mistakenly let your child sleep until 11 a.m. and now it's bedtime and there's no bedtime? How do you deal with the fact that suddenly you're really the only person making the food, doing the laundry, folding the laundry, putting the laundry away, all these little things to which by all means you should have resistance because it's annoying. First world annoying problems, I get that, honestly, get it. But how do you deal with it? And what does resistance play as a role in this? The first thing I'll ask you to do is acknowledge how fortunate you are, no matter where you are, if you have laundry or a dish to do or a child in your space. You're lucky. I have so many friends that can't have kids that are just now coming to the fact that they think they'll adopt. They're in their 40s, 50s. I have so many friends who really don't know where their next dollar is coming from. And so they have to right now pay attention to what they eat because they don't have enough money to spend on their food because there's no money coming in. So all of these are lucky problems, even they are terribly, dastardly annoying. They're lucky problems. So there's no reason to argue with reality. This is what's happening. My kid really is in my space. He really did pick up my laptop when I was on a meeting with 100 people earlier, held the laptop in his pajamas, walked it around this house, smiled and giggled and said, "I stole you," and then set the laptop back down to everyone's sheer delight. My resistance turned into laughter. Had to. Where else is it going to go? If your resistance becomes negativity, guess what? That lodges in your cells. If it becomes laughter, it becomes exactly as you said, Chantal, equanimity. It becomes resilience. It becomes the way in which you're going to manage this moment and maybe a little bit into the next one. Don't know about the future, but I know about this moment. The blame, shame, gossip, negativity, we're all guilty of this. It's all forms of resistance. One of the best ways to get rid of resistance I have found is to just write all the resistance down. Get a piece of paper, just start writing the list of all the things that you can't control and the things that you resist, and make it an extensive, exhaustive list of things. And when you're done with that thing, you can actually see how funny, lucky, and manageable all that resistance is. You can also remember, Stephen Pressfield says this in The War of Art, that the more important the evolution, something like this, the more important the evolution, or the deeper the evolution, the deeper the resistance. The minute you're going to change something, boy, oh boy, is the resistance going to be strong. So I think the real work is, once you've seen that list of all the things that you're resisting and all the things that you're fighting with reality about, go back in. Know that that's your brain talking. What would your heart say to each one of those things? This is something I've learned with the Handel Group. I've been with them for 10 years as a client and sometimes as a coach. What would my heart say to the fact that I'm resisting my kid being around in my office space here? Your heart would say, well, thank God you have a child who's healthy. Your heart would say, thank God he actually wants to be near you. Thank God he is fearless about picking up the laptop and just hanging out with your people, with your community. You know, what are your answers to each one of those points of resistance, and how can you actually, you yourself, through your own intelligent, intuitive heart, talk back to the ways in which you're sabotaging your attitude, thereby quelling your nervous system and calming your state for another 5 minutes. You know, that to me is priceless. And sure, I could lead you through meditation. I am leading one every single day live on Instagram because I think it's good for me. And a bunch of people like it. And sometimes I have guests, and sometimes it's just me, and it's lovely and fun and delightful, delicious even. But I think in my heart, to learn how to manage our minds in the moment of discord is, yes, it's a result of your meditation practice, but it's also a real pertinent practice in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's one of the most important things we can do right now in the position that we're in. If you're watching me on this, talk right now, and you're sitting in your house and you're isolating at home and you're staying still and you're lucky enough to have broadband, this is something you can do. That's what I think for now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The writing is helping me a lot.
That's beautiful, the writing, but even in the moment of just catching yourself, I think that there's certainly a practice in that. And I think that's for me where meditation comes into it, because that brings more of an awareness to those moments where I can go, okay, yeah, this isn't the avenue I want to go down. Come back, Chantel, come back. So I totally understand the feeling of resistance, but it's in the moment by moment choice of where to from now is
exactly
so important. And I love what you mentioned about the kind of questions that you allow to surface around what would my heart say? What would my heart say in this moment? Because we can be so caught here. The sinking back into that space is important.
And, to ask the question, and this is something that my friends and colleagues and I ask all the time, like, what if this is really happening for you? What if, let's take a dear friend of mine, for example, who had just opened up a super beautiful yoga studio in Brooklyn. What if this is happening for you? What if you are actually being saved from years of overworking, running that brick and mortar studio by this virus? What if you didn't want that job anyway? What if you're being saved from having that job? What if this opens up an entire new vista of possibility for you creativity-wise? What if this is happening for you? That opens up a whole nother conversation. I mean, already with me, my kid's cooking for himself. He's had we have a part-time babysitter who's our family for years. She's in New York with her family. She's not here. She was here for a few hours, 2-3 times a week. She's not here anymore. Guess who's cooking for himself? Guess who's cleaning up after himself? Like little things. Look for the tiny victories. Believe me, I know how fortunate I am. I created this. I designed this with hard work many, many years ago that I could be leaving the city and coming here. This was a result of many years of hard work and saving money and planning for some weird disaster. I have it. And I realize how lucky I am. But if that's not the case for you and you're watching this, you're going, well, I don't have the means. I don't have, guess what? You have at least 5 little victories today. Name them and get to know them and be thankful for them, because you have things to be thankful for that you're missing. Little tiny things.
Yeah. The practice of noticing those things and being grateful for them, and then putting voice to them somehow, writing them out or expressing them in the moment. I think something that's been rising for me, Elena, is I've got this feeling I just need to, more of a yearning of the me that I want to be, or the people I really want to reach out to and are important to me right now. It's bringing a more of a palpable feeling behind that too. So I think with this style of circumstance, it's also distilling what's really important. And I love what you said, noticing those things, but noticing what's coming up in you too, because it might be urging you to go, yes, like you were saying, no to brick and mortar, no to this, but what is left? What's going to be rising to the surface from this for you?
Yeah. And, you know, if you don't have 20 minutes to meditate, your house is too busy, you've got 2 or 3 and you can hide out in the loo. And the only work you have to do is just to follow your breathing. And, you know, just on the off chance you come down with this thing, to practice almost elasticizing the bottoms of your lungs and creating this like massive spatial opening in the bottoms of your lungs on a daily basis, 5, 6, 10 breaths, 10 minutes, whatever you've got. Nothing but beneficial. Doesn't require a fancy seat, a posture, a mantra, nothing. Just watch your breathing and see if you can expand it a little bit in the service of your own healing.
Yeah, I love that. Beautiful. Is there any other breathing practice that can help people's immune system right now? They think, you know, I'm isolating I'm mitigating my risk somewhat, but I'd really like to bring a bit of an immune boosting practice. Is there anything that you suggest there?
For sure. I would do, I'm going to start doing this again next week as well. In my meditations, we took a week off. We did some facial acupressure and other acupoints, and now we're going back to this next week. It's called alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. Would you like me to lead a little bit?
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I'm happy to do it. So find a nice comfortable seat wherever you are and bring your right hand up. Fold the first 2 fingers of that hand in, and then bring that hand in front of your nose, just in front. When I say to block the nostril, what I'm talking about, and I'll show you on this side, is just bringing the finger up to where the bone and the cartilage meet. And when you're breathing, you'll have the fingers just resting on the edges of the nostrils right there. Okay? So take a moment, cough, clear your throat. And then blow your nose, whatever you need to do. And then inhale through both nostrils, please, resting your fingers on the edges. You can feel the air passing in. And then as you exhale, please block your right nostril and exhale out the left. Good, then inhale through your left. And slide that ring finger up, close, and block both very gently. You're just pressing on the point where the bone and the cartilage meet. Bring the thumb down to the edge of the right nostril and exhale right. Good. Inhale right. And this time, watch the breath that goes in through that nostril, down into the belly, down into the base of your lungs, widens them. Close and block both. Release ring finger to edge of left nostril, exhale left. Pressing your navel in, the air comes back up and out through your nose. Good. Inhale left. And close and block both nostrils. Good. Release the right hand, thumb down the edge of the nostril, exhale right. Inhale right. Close and block both. And exhale left. One more round. Inhale left. Close and block both. And exhale right. Inhale right. Close, gently blocking both. And exhale left. And gently release your hand. Inhale through both nostrils. And feel all that lung capacity that you've just created. Exhale through both. Again, inhale both. And exhale both. Good. And let's drop any shaping or technique for the breath and just let the breath come and go naturally. Keeping your eyes closed, your spine is tall. You may notice that there is this very interesting and palpable balance in the two hemispheres of your brain. It's a direct result of this practice. You may feel a little more capacious in your lungs. That's also a direct result of this practice. This is the sort of balance that we can build into the body in a very short period of time. And this balance lends itself to Chantal's equanimity, to our resilience, to all the ways in which we are able to effectively and efficiently manage the resistance. Let's take a nice big deep breath in all together. And exhale, release it. Again, big inhale. And hold that breath in. Bring your hands up in front of your face and rub your hands together. Keep holding that breath. And then bring your warm palms over the sockets of your eyes gently. Exhaling. Inhale. And slowly begin to blink your eyes open there underneath your hands. And slowly begin to separate your hands and come back to us.
That was divine. Thank you, Elena. I feel
I've
so
had
good.
several friends who've used it during their bout with the virus, and they said it really made a big difference in their lung capacity.
I can, yeah, I don't have it, but I'm feeling it, and the expansion in the bottom part of my lung felt really, really big.
Yeah.
Beautiful to go through.
Good.
Very peaceful and very beautiful to bring such a focus, and you need to be so focused when you're doing the nostril breathing. There's no way you can be anywhere else. So I love that.
For the parents, I'm called to add, if you're a parent, a couple of things you can do. One is to make a whiteboard or even just a white piece of paper with everyone's schedule, so that you can kind of ascertain, especially if you're in a small space, what time this one needs to have quiet and this one needs to have quiet, and how to work that out. Another really neat project would be to, every night before you go to bed, ask your kid what you could have done better that day, and let the kid speak. Jonah's been doing that since he was 3. And he really feels like he has a voice in this house. He's 13 now, and I still do it. Sometimes, every now and again, he'll be like, so what could I have done better? But mostly it's just me asking. It's a beautiful practice because he feels like he has a say. You know, he's not just some stupid kid sitting there with no voice. He has a say in how things roll. And I found that to be really helpful in our emotional connection and peace around here.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Thank you. That's certainly a practice I'm going to be doing from now on. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing to do. Very humbling for a parent and very honoring and empowering for a child.
Totally. We were raised by parents who were raised to think that kids shouldn't have a voice.
That was the era.
You know, when our parents were little, they were, better off seen and not heard. And, if you're in your 40s or 50s, that's what we're working with. And we are evolving that paradigm, I don't want my kid to feel like he doesn't have a voice and then have to go to therapy for ages when he gets older.
Yeah.
I want him to feel like he has a voice. And like if it gets out of hand and he gets bratty or disrespectful, there's a conversation that ensues about that. But I think the other way was way too repressing, repressive and inappropriate, frankly.
Yes.
It's disempowering.
And those societal norms just keep coming through the genes until we consciously go, this is where it stops here with me. That's so right. We do have that choice to go, no, I will be different, and I want to give my child something a little different to grow into here.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Elena. Thank you for your time and your grace and your beautiful ways of navigating this time. And there are so many gems in here. I've been taking lots of notes, and I know personally I'm going away richer from this experience with you. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best where you are right now. And
thank you.
See you again very soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Elena. Thank you.